So first and foremost, how are you feeling? Less than a week away. I know when the last time I spoke with you, it was just kind of first starting those campaign efforts back up, resurfacing them. So how has it been since the last time we've spoken?
It's been great. There is so much energy and enthusiasm on the ground. Voters are really ready to show up, turn out, and put a check on what's happening in Washington with Donald Trump and Jen Kiggans standing behind him all the time. And it is evidenced by every conversation I have across the district.
Thank you so much. Let's go into my first question for you, which is a question that I have already asked you, but I'm going to re-ask you again. You represented Virginia's 2nd District before and lost the seat in 2022. What convinced you that now is the right time to ask voters to send you back to Congress, for those that might not be familiar with who you are?
Well, just looking at what's happening today, the policies of the Trump administration with Jen Kiggans standing behind him 100% of the time with her votes, they're hurting our community. People are losing their health care with these cuts to Medicaid. People are paying more for their insurance. We've seen tens of thousands of sailors from the Hampton Roads region either deployed or having returned from deployment in a war that Trump started. And that is affecting our community deeply, as well as the gas prices, the tariffs, the cost of living, the cost of housing. And Jen Kiggans and this administration have done nothing to help the people of our district.
And so the Democratic primary includes several candidates with different backgrounds. But I believe, with the experience that you do have and that you continue to have in the work that you continue to do, what do you believe makes you the strongest choice for Democratic voters on Tuesday? And what sets you apart from your opponents and potentially the incumbent that you can be facing up against?
Well, this is a time when we need someone with experience and we need someone with a backbone. I have stood up to Trump before. I flipped this seat in 2018 when the people of the 2nd District were, fed up with the first Trump administration, and here we are again. We're in a situation where people want to change, they want something different, and I'm the person who will deliver that next Tuesday and then again in November.
Thank you so much. Your Navy career has always been central to your public service. How has your time in uniform and your time out of Congress shaped the kind of leader you would be if elected again? And kind of talk me through, for our viewers that don't know about the groundwork that you've done in your time in Congress for our military personnel and family members.
Well, I'll start with my time in uniform. Serving in uniform is a very apolitical profession. And, I think back to deploying on the aircraft carrier and on the Enterprise operating 8 nuclear reactors. I didn't turn to the reactor operator next to me and say, you're a Democrat or Republican. And I just focused on the mission and I focused on listening to everyone. Jen Kiggans doesn't show up. She doesn't listen. She's never held a town hall. And people need to have their voices heard, and they need someone who's going to listen to them, whether they vote for them or not. And my time in the military, I served 20 years in uniform as a surface nuclear officer. I deployed 6 times to the Middle East and Western Pacific. And I bring that experience to my time in Congress. I was the vice chair of the Armed Services Committee. I chaired the Disability Subcommittee on Veterans Affairs and was able to deliver for our veterans the largest increase in access to veterans care in our lifetime through the PACT Act, which helps those veterans who are exposed to burn pits. And when I return to Congress, I plan to continue that same work.
Thank you so much. A few more questions I have for you. You mentioned it earlier, just kind of in your first answer about how things have been going along your campaign. But when you knock on doors across Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, the Eastern Shore, and the rest of Virginia's 2nd Congressional District, what are the issues that people bring up most often? And what would be your first priority in Congress to address those concerns that you're hearing right from our residents here?
The thing that I hear from everyone on every door we knock is the cost of living and affordability. I mean, the price of everything is going up. People are either losing their health care, they're paying more for their health care, they're paying more for everything they buy because of these tariffs, and they're paying more for gas at the pump because Trump, supported by Jen Kiggans, has started this war in the Middle East that has no end in sight, and people want relief for that. And I think that when Democrats take back the House, we have to start with an affordability package, essentially focused on reversing these terrible policies that the Trump administration and Jen Kiggans have put in place over the last 2 years.
2 more questions for you. How, I'm asking this to all of the candidates, if you will, just sort of preface, but how confident are you in your campaign efforts so far, and how has your campaign changed from this time running versus the last time?
I'm very confident in our campaign efforts. We have volunteers, we have staff out knocking doors, talking to voters every day. And we're also raising the resources that we need to reach voters. We're already up on TV communicating our message and talking about what we're going to do for Virginia's 2nd District. So I'm very confident going into Tuesday and very confident going into November.
Thank you so much. And my last question for you, what would your message be to Democrats who are still undecided about who should be the nominee? And you mentioned the campaign ads, they're circulating all over. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to address maybe the criticism or skepticism in the current Congresswoman's kind of attack ads against you, to kind of give you this opportunity to directly speak to our viewers about why you should be the nominee in spite of all the kind of political turmoil we're seeing take place in Washington, here in Virginia, and just as these campaign efforts continue on.
Well, I'm the person in this race with the experience and with the resources to win the race, flip the district, and it's a key district in flipping the entire House of Representatives. So voters in the 2nd District, I hope they understand just how important their vote is, because it's going to make a difference not just for here, for our district who represents Hampton Roads, but it's also going to make a difference for the entire country.
Thank you so much. And I know we mentioned affordability, but is affordability kind of the biggest platform that you're running on right now? Are there any other key issues or key sectors along the conversations that you've been speaking on that you would just like our viewers to know that you are really for ahead of Tuesday?
Well, I'm very focused on affordability. I'm very focused on protecting and restoring people's health care. If you look at the district, it's a large district and it stretches all the way out to Franklin. And the Southampton Medical Center in Franklin is one of the hospitals in Virginia that's at critical risk of closing. And our representative in the 2nd District today, she voted for that legislation that is leading to people losing their Medicaid, paying more for their ACA coverage, and then dropping coverage. It is something that when this hospital closes, it is going to affect everyone in the community. It could be life or death if someone is now over an hour away from an emergency room. So these decisions and who represents this district are really life and death issues for some people in our community.